Hi everyone, this is your Young People's Love Tap video, tips for dealing with depression and anxiety. For starters, depression and anxiety is extremely common in people of all ages, of people of all walks of life for all kinds of reasons. And there are some reasons why people struggle with it more than not. In today's video, I'm going to give you some foundational activities and things to do to start to manage and put anxiety and depression in their place, which is not in your life. You don't want to have a life riddled with anxiety and depression. That's not powerful. That's no fun. It's just not good. So you recognize this is very common. The next thing I'm going to say is that there are skills for you to learn that will help you. And when you learn those skills, you're not at the whim of your emotions. So here's one of the things. Most people don't know how to identify, necessarily process, and manage their emotions, which means if you don't know how to do that, then you are at the whim of your emotions because you don't know how to control them. You don't know how to manage them. So the thing you want to do is learn that skill set, because then you don't have to be the victim of your emotions or at the whim of your emotions. You can actually be managing them and be in control of them, which is extremely powerful. As a young person, I want you to know that there are some things that can cause people to have anxiety or depression related to medical things. So you would be well advised to rule out any medical causes for anxiety or depression with your family physician or whatever doctor you see. What's known is that celiac disease and gluten intolerance those two conditions are known to be contributing, or sometimes the source for anxiety or depression. So I would definitely want to take a look at that and make sure that that's not going on for you. A third thing relative to ruling out, sometimes things like MSG, additives, or food dyes can cause people to feel anxious or be depressed. So it could be related to your diet. You want to rule all that stuff out so you're not fighting against yourself. So let's dive in for things that'll help you with anxiety and depression. Number one, I want you to not be ashamed or embarrassed. This is common. If you knew how common it was, we'd be talking about this over coffee. But people kind of try to hide it. They try to mask it. They're trying to act like, oh, I got it all together. Instead of saying, I'm dealing with anxiety and I don't really know how to put it to bed. That would be different than hiding it. So ditch any shame, ditch any embarrassment. It's just part of being human, and you can learn the skills so that this doesn't become your routine. You don't want this as your routine in life, struggling with depression or anxiety. The next thing that I recommend is that if you're a negative thinker or a catastrophizer or somebody who is just like worries to death, pessimism, all that stuff has to go. Negative thinking doesn't do anything good for you. It's counterintuitive to what you want. You want a happy life? Then you need to have positive thinking, because negative thinking is proven. It's bad for your health, doesn't give you a good outcome. I have a whole video on the self-fulfilling prophecy. You would want to take a look at that, because then if you really got that concept, you would know you want to run like crazy from negative thinking, catastrophizing, all that, melodramatic stuff into a positive way of looking at life. And there's plenty of books and things that can help you get there. Next up, you want to learn how to identify your emotions. I have another video about that has a little tip sheet, walks you through the process. Definitely check that out, because the more you can pinpoint your emotions, and there's a big difference, that's why I did a whole video on it, that's going to be hugely powerful for you, because you want to be in the driver's seat of your life. You want to be in control of your emotions, not trying to figure out how to feel better. So take a look at that video about identifying your emotions and the tip sheet, it's all a whole thing. Take a look at that. Next thing is you're going to have to learn how to manage and process your emotions, which I've written a whole bunch of stuff about that. But pinpointing your vocabulary or increasing your emotional word vocabulary is part of that. Another thing I highly recommend, and probably almost every video, is that you be up to something. When people are up to something, whether it's planning a trip or a party or an event or what they're going to do with their life or some bucket list item. When people are up to things, that makes a difference. They feel better. They're taking actions because they're up to something. If you want to put anxiety and depression at bay, start being up to things in life, because that's going to boost your self-esteem, because sometimes anxiety and depression come from low self-esteem. Everything that I write and blog about is going to like boost your self-esteem and help you feel better. That's going to help put anxiety and depression at bay. All right. If you need therapy, go get therapy. I just did a video about what is psychotherapy anyway. It's no big deal. Go get some therapy if you need it. And if you don't want to do therapy, you can talk to people, because there's plenty of people who have experience and will be helping you, will help you. Just make sure you're talking to decent quality people. No shady people in your life. Then one other thing that can sometimes cause anxiety or depression is hidden or unexpressed anger. I highly recommend, and sometimes it's just really deep, people, that you deal with any anger. Anger's okay. There's nothing wrong with anger. But when you don't deal with anger, it can either go inward where you're like hurting yourself, or it can come outward against other people. Maybe you're passive aggressive, or you're just aggressive, or just a bully, or whatever. So deal with any anger, because that's a powerful place that people don't often look to see. If your anxiety and depression isn't related to your circumstances, well, if they're related to your circumstances, you're going to do something about that within your power. And I'm just giving you some things you could do. At any rate, deal with any hidden anger or not hidden anger. And really the thing to learn is that you can learn a skill set that I have a whole video on called generating your own happiness. Happiness doesn't come just because you're human. It comes mostly from attitudes, thinking processes, actions, things you do. If you want to be happy and put anxiety and depression to bed, really the skill to learn is generating your own happiness. I have a video about that. I have a blog post about that. That's not how most people live. But you, young people, don't have to live like your parents or your relatives or whoever. You can live a powerful life starting right now. Why would you wait? Because the things that I'm helping you to hopefully learn will make your life easier and better and less painful. Sign me up for that, right? Who wants a more painful life? I hope that's been helpful. Let me know how I can help you, because I want you to have a life that's happy and powerful, because you deserve it. Have a great day.